Hey guys, Chris Clothier here, and welcome to another podcast of The Grind, another episode here. I am super excited today, but I'm a little halfway flustered. I do not work very well off of a schedule. I'm one of the lone clothiers that just does not keep a schedule. I see the heads are nodding behind the camera on the other side. They've been trying to pin me down to get our next podcast recordings and videos made. At the same time, I've got another member of the team that's trying to get me to sign the final copies of the Turnkey Revolution, where some of our new investors have requested a signed copy of the Turnkey Revolution as part of the process of them going through the learning about our company and learning how to invest passively. So Isabella, in all of her infinite wisdom, told me that I needed to multitask and do two things at once: start the podcast, finish the books, knock them both out, let's go. What she doesn't understand is I have a hard enough time focusing on one thing, much less trying to do two. But I'm going to knock this out. I've only got two more to do. Meanwhile, today's podcast is all about the one piece of, we'll call it the one piece of material, the one piece of collateral, the one thing that I think is vital for your success as a real estate investor and a business owner. I'm going to tell you how I've used this tool to raise millions of dollars, but I also used it with my son to assist him raising money for college. He went to trade school, and how you can use it to be able to get money to grow your business or grow your real estate investment portfolio. And it's unfortunately, it's not the Turnkey Revolution. This is not the tool that I would call the most important, although it is good. I'm not going to knock the book. I spent a lot of time writing it. It comes directly from our experiences owning and founding Memphis Invest, that would then become REI Nation. Now, definitely one of the premier, probably the gold standard for turnkey real estate companies out there in the country. We'll leave those for Sarah, and she'll come get those when we're done. So in the meantime, I'm going to tell you about a tool that you need to have in your arsenal if you're starting a new company or wanting to invest in real estate. And it's called the Bank Book. I recorded a video on this. I'm pretty sure you can still find it out there on YouTube somewhere. But that video is almost, I think it's almost 2 decades old. I recorded that thing back in like 2007, 2006, somewhere in there. So it's got some age on it. But here's the beauty of it. Even though I recorded that years ago, the concept, the idea, the tool itself still is the number one tool we've used to be able to earn credibility, to be able to move to the head of the line, to be able to raise private funds as well as bank funds. It's been the best tool we've ever had to be able to ensure our success as a company, because after all, no matter what it is you're doing out there, you've got to have capital to grow. You have to have capital to get your business kind of funded and rolling. And once you get going, of course, that success feeds upon itself, and that's how you grow. But you have to have capital to get started. At some point in your venture, you may need additional capital to grow. This is a method I tell you that you need to use. So grab a pen and paper. Make sure you write this down, all the steps I'm going to tell you, because a bank book, it's vital to move you to the front of the line. And here's why. When you walk to meet with a bank, when you walk to a lunch or a coffee to meet with a private lender, and especially if these are the types of people or institutions that get a lot of requests for money, they see the average pitch all the time. They see the person walk through the door, the person that sends them an email or sends them a text message on their phone saying, hey, this is who I am and what I want to do and what I'm willing to pay for it. Can you lend me some money? Can I come in and meet with you? They're not accustomed to having super professional presentations. People presenting them with an opportunity for them to get involved in someone else's business and to be successful at it, to know that they are going to be a fantastic risk for you as a bank or for you as a lender. They just don't get those types of opportunities very much. So what we devised many years ago, and I don't recall, it may have been my dad, it may have been one of his early partners, a guy named Hewlett Gregory, who partnered with my dad on a lot of stuff early on, and he himself has built a fantastic turnkey business along with many other companies. I don't know which one of them originally kind of created this idea, but I know I took it and ran with it, and I created what was called a bank book. Now, the bank book is very specific in that it is meant and designed to be able to tell your full story, tell it very briefly and quickly, and to tell it in such a way that whomever you present it to, whether it is a financial institution such as a lender, a bank officer that is the decision maker, or even if it's a private lender, somebody that you want to back your venture privately, no matter what, this book is going to give you instant credibility. That's the point of it. And I'm going to give you each of the pieces that you need to put in the book, starting with this. So my books have always been a 1-inch 3-ring binder. Okay. Now I'll tell you right off the bat, I grabbed this one today out of our supply closet. This is just holds other presentations here at us, for us as a company, maybe some reporting here and there. I would not use white for my bank book. I would absolutely use a different color. I always use like a maroon color for mine. The reason why is I wanted it to stand out. I wanted it to be different, just in case the bank itself has a bunch of reporting that a bank officer puts on the credenza behind their desk or stacks up behind their desk, all the quarterly reporting, and holds them all in, and they're all white. It's going to look the same as all that. I don't want that to happen. I want my bank book to stand out. I want them to be able to quickly search their desk and say, that is an outstanding person to lend to. Let me pull this out and show it to you. I want them to literally walk my bank book around the office and say, don't you wish you had clients who did this? So in order to achieve that, you're going to have to create, let me open this up here. You're going to have to create 6 different sections of your bank book to make sure that you hit all the high notes and all the requirements to have a really good bank book that's going to move you to the front of the line. Number 1, like I told you, you need to get a 3-ring binder. Write this down. All right. If you go to OfficeMax, this is how easy I'm going to make it for you. It's item number. I may have to pull my glasses out for this one to read my own writing. It's item number 208801. Did you write it down? That's the number. 208801. If you go online, if you walk into a OfficeMax and you push that item number in, this 3-ring binder is going to show up. Pick the right color. Pick some off color, not white, that you want to stand out. Buy it. Number 2, you're going to get paper. Here's the number. It's number 675033. 675033. Why? Because it's 67-pound ivory-colored paper. Again, why? It's a little thicker. It's not thin paper. It's not cardstock, but it's going to hold up well. Whomever you give this to, they're going to be able to turn page to page without it tearing out, without you having to put it down in sleeves or anything. It's going to look very, very professional. All right. You can also use paper number 1299178. That's white. All right. If you want white paper instead of ivory, go for it. I know you guys are thinking that this guy is absolutely off his rocker right now with these item numbers, but here's the deal. It's important. You want to get dividers because you're going to divide up every section of your bank book. You're going to make it easy for a lender to be able to get to the information they're looking for quickly. I would get item number 913466. Okay? Professional looking dividers. They're all the same color. They have the ability for you to be able to write into a tab and insert the actual tab, what the name of this particular section is going to be. So I advise you to get those 3 items. I've given you the item numbers. I've made this simple for you. Get this taken care of. Now, what are you going to put into it? Well, here's the first thing, and this is where you got to be good at storytelling, okay? You have to know what it is you're trying to do and why. Whether you're starting that first business, whether you're trying to build a portfolio, no matter what it is you're borrowing money for, you got to know the story you want to tell. So the very first section is your personal bio. Of course, you're going to be putting in there who you are and if you're married and do you have children and where you live and kind of the roots that you've set down. You might tell part of the story of the successes that you've had or the success you plan to have. How, what makes you think that you're the right person or this is the right business or you're moving in the right direction for them to take a chance on you. So you need to get really, really good and crystal clear in your personal bio on what it is, who you are and what it is you're trying to achieve. The second section of your book should be your professional summary. It should be what you've already accomplished again and kind of how it is you're laying out whatever this venture is that you're taking. You want to put your request in here. So you're specifically looking for X number of dollars and this is what you're going to do with it. So you get a little more detailed in this section on the, the professional side. So you've got your bio side and a little bit of your background, and you've got your professional summary along with your request, what it is you're looking for from the financial institution. The third thing that you want to put in there is a personal financial statement. And guys, some of y'all watching, listening to this, I don't know. I have no idea the position everyone's in, but you may say that I don't really have a personal financial statement. I'm not to that level yet. Well, you absolutely are. You need to be aware of where you stand. It doesn't matter. This isn't a contest with somebody else. Here is where I stand today. How much money do I have? What debts do I have? What resources do I have? What assets do I have? Whatever it ends up being. It doesn't matter how long or short it is. You need to be aware of your current financial standing. And you need to make it clear to that lending institution that you do know what your financial standing is, so that they're aware that at least this person understands and knows this is important. The fourth section should be your credit report. You can get a free credit report printed off multiple times a year now, so make sure you're absolutely taking advantage of this. Include a copy of your credit report. Before anybody lends to you, they're going to pull this themselves, okay? But if right off the bat they see a really good credit score, or if they see a checkered credit past, you know that in your bio or your professional summary, you're going to have to address that. And if you address it successfully before they see the credit report, then at least here again, they know that you're on the up and up, that you are trying to present the best case scenario, that you believe in yourself, and that you're not hiding, behind any of the negatives. Don't hide the warts. Make sure that they understand that I'm, again, perfectly aware of the scenario I'm in. I'm coming for you to assist me. Okay. Fourth section, credit report. Fifth section is past projects, anything that you've done. And I mean anything, whether that is your resume with jobs that you've done. Is it a professional breakdown of companies you've worked at? Maybe it's projects you've worked on at particular companies before. Maybe it's if you started other companies, it's the success and failures of those companies, kind of where you've been. Of course, you really want to make sure you highlight the best of what you've done, right? You absolutely want to make sure that they see the best that you've done. And then number 6, well, let me go back to that number 5, past projects, because if you are in the real estate business and you've successfully purchased and sold houses, or if you've successfully built a portfolio, include it. Make sure they know what you've done. Number 6 is referrals and references. Whew, been a long day. Referrals and references. Make sure that you include personal and professional. That the people who you put in this book, they know that you're including them. Make sure they're prepared to get a phone call and answer questions about you, about your reliability, about your trustworthiness, about anything that they may have done with you in the past. Choose wisely. Choose good, okay? But those are the 6 sections that you want to include inside your bank book. And if you want to be very successful with this, make sure that you go to small, local, hometown banks first. If you don't know who these are, open up the Yellow Pages. I fully understand if anybody watching or listening right now is wondering, what are the Yellow Pages? It's okay. The Yellow Pages are printed books of businesses, okay? And some of y'all may be of the age where you've never seen a Yellow Pages before. They still exist. You want to open up a Yellow Pages, and you go to the section that lists all the banks. And you go down the pages until you find the bank that has 1 branch, 2 branches, 3 branches. That's all they have. They're small. They're local. Most likely inside that branch is going to be a loan officer who has the ability to make loans to people like yourself for endeavors like what you're chasing, okay? And they can do that not necessarily on the spot, but they can do that without a lot of guidance from up above. So you're looking for banks that aren't going to have a lot of red tape and banks that can move fairly quickly for you. Now, let me share with you a quick story. Of course, I used this when I first got started with my first grocery business. I was able to raise a $100,000 line of credit for my grocery business that ultimately I didn't need, but it was great startup capital. It helped me on the very, very beginning. And of course, I shared the story with you a couple of weeks ago about, where that grocery business ultimately went and what it led to. Once I had success raising money with a bank book, the next thing I did was use it to be able to raise money to be able to build my portfolio. So once I had used my own cash to buy a couple of properties that I had owned long-term, but also I'd already done my first flip, I was able to get a line of credit to be able to use towards real estate. Now, it still had to be, it still had to go through that same real estate process, but they were able to tell me on the front end that I was approved up to X amount of dollars to purchase real estate with, and it had to, kind of fit within these terms that they laid out to me as far as values and what I could actually borrow. But now I knew that I could make offers and I could actually do business because I had the financial backing of my bank. I didn't have to do this with hard money lenders or anything like that, but I certainly would have. I would have used the same bank book for a hard money lender or any private lender. So I used this multiple times, and I raised over $1 million for my real estate business through the use of this bank book. Okay. And I believed in it so much that when my 19-year-old son came to us and said, you know what, regular college is not for me. He did his first semester. Of course, COVID played a big role in this and him just not having the experience he was looking for. And all he wanted to do was fly airplanes. He found a trade school type program through ATP, which again, there's a nice little plug for ATP because they have been fantastic. But he came to us and said, you know what, I want to go to trade school. But this is an expensive trade school. I mean, to go and learn to be a pilot, it's expensive and it's very, very intensive. So it's a short time period, but it is, class every day, studying every day. It is, no joke to go through a school like this. And it cost a lot of money. And I sat him down and told him, we paid for that first semester of college, which we were happy to do, but we didn't quite get the result we were looking for. In fact, I'm not sure that he even got a report card from that first semester. I'm not sure that he completed it. That's no knock on him. It's just, it is what it is. It was a rough semester, but we were not, we told him we were not just going to go out and just pay for this again. He was going to have to get this done on his own. And I introduced him to the bank book, and he did a very good job of putting together his own bank book. And I assisted him with getting a meeting with a bank, but it was still up to him to make the presentation, to deliver the bank book, to speak for himself, to lay out why he and this school was a good risk for this bank. And ultimately, in the end, he was successful. Now, and I didn't co-sign with him or anything along those lines. Absolutely, as a parent, my support for him and my willingness to make sure that he was okay and the bank was okay played a big role. Of course, it did. But he had to learn the lesson of, hey, I need to create this on my own. And I need to put together the best story I can. And then I need to sell myself and my story to this bank. And he did just a fantastic job of it. To wrap that story up, that was in January of this past year. And as we speak today, he's about 2 weeks away from being a certified multi-engine instrument instructor, which I believe is the highest, private pilot type instructor you can get, the highest rating he can get. So he is now, it took him only a few short months. It took him 8 short months, and he is going to be a certified flight instructor at the highest level, teaching multi-engine pilots, or teaching pilots how to fly multi-engine airplanes using instruments only. And that is just a hell of an accomplishment by him. But it all started with this bank book. Okay. And it all started with him being organized, believing in himself, following my very simple instructions. He had the same instructions I just gave you, and he was successful. This works if you're willing to use it. Okay. This works if you're willing to use it. So, okay. I'm fired up to be able to give you that episode. I've got another great episode coming up because I want to share with you guys why every job in your business is the most important job. While there are no, high-level jobs and low-level jobs, every single person, especially if you're customer-facing, especially if you interact with customers, every job is the most important job. I'm going to share with you an experience I had here recently. I was excited to share it because it really was eye-opening to me, and I got the chance to be able to share it with a business owner, in the moment, with somebody that the experience I just had at their establishment, was able to share with him in the moment and point out to him the importance of each of those people. And that may sound like I was, educating and trying to, be Mr. Big Shot. I wasn't. It was a normal customer interaction with the owner of a company that, I got to show him in real time the experience I had and how it affected me. And it really, really hit home with him. So the next episode, it's lessons all about why every job is the most important job in your company. Guys, until then, grind on. I appreciate all of the support y'all are giving us. I appreciate y'all taking care and participating in the surveys, letting us know what you want to hear about. I appreciate you listening, sharing, liking, all that stuff. It really helps us out. And I'm going to keep on grinding. I'm going to keep on doing this podcast. So until then, we'll talk to you. Y'all take care.